Welcome, welcome back, and thank you for continuing on this journey. What a difference a week makes. It feels very good to gather together this week as we have been part of a very long and arduous decision-making process in our country. I recognize that our community represents a variety of opinions and reactions to our national election. For all of us, however, the process has all but concluded, and there should be some sense of relief at the proper conduct of the election process, release that all of the rhetoric, the advertisements, the anxiety, and the anticipation is over, and even renewal as we embark upon a new chapter in our nation's history with its possibilities and inevitable surprises. And this is a journey on which we travel together. As I was looking forward to being with you today, I thought about this time and the lessons it might have for us that transcend victory or loss. My thoughts gravitated to a beautiful phrase from one of the Psalms. It may be familiar to you. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. In fact, it has been set to music by Debbie Friedman. You may remember hearing it. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those, and it continues. I believe that these words convey a message that is not just the assurance that whatever sadness we may be experiencing will ultimately resolve in a joyous result. That is far too naive a notion that I neither believe nor have I observed to be necessarily true. What I have observed, however, and that I do believe is true, is that nothing stays forever. Our lives are constantly shifting, changing, adjusting. And in fact, a feeling of elation one day can change into one of dejection and distress in the blink of an eye. The constant variability of our fortunes is, in fact, embedded in our tradition. Our patriarchs and matriarchs are constantly confronting changes in their circumstances. In one instance, Abraham is God's chosen one, whom God will bless with land and descendants numerous as the stars in the sky. And the next moment, God commands Abraham to sacrifice his own child. Jacob flees for his life from his brother Esau, whom he has tricked out of his birthright and his rightful blessing. Jacob has nothing as he makes his way to his mother's family in another country to indenture himself to his uncle for what turns out to be 14 years. When Jacob finally returns to his homeland, it is as a rich man with wives, children, and property. His son, Joseph, literally rises from the pit into which his brothers have thrown him out of their jealousy and hatred of him. He rises out of that pit to become the most powerful man in the ancient world after the Pharaoh himself. All of this is prelude to the formative story of our people. We were slaves in Egypt, and it was through a miraculous deliverance that we became free. We fell and we rose. And we fell and rose again and again and again. Our history is filled with that theme, lived over and over in century after century, in country after country. We know this story. We have lived it, breathed it, steeled ourselves against it. But we have learned whatever is now is not permanent. It will change. It will evolve. it will pass. Which is part of the lesson of our meditation practice when we say, if a thought intrudes, let it go. Do not engage with it. See if you can live in just this moment without distraction by thoughts of yesterday or tomorrow. When we can separate ourselves from our thoughts, we avoid the trap of believing we are what we are thinking. Our thoughts and our feelings are just that. They are thoughts and feelings. They come and go. They are not us. We can let them pass. They do not define us. As a corollary to this idea, it allows us greater freedom and independence when we can separate ourselves from our own thoughts and, sometimes even more importantly, from the opinions of others. It can help us to avoid, or at least to minimize, the anxiety, concern, and even despair that can follow criticism or negative comment or negative actions. On the other hand, it can help us to greet joyous moments with a sense of equanimity and balance without a manic or obsessive need to have everything perfect, to make some fantasy of unadulterated joy come true. Our moments of joy will pass, as will our moments of difficulty, and they will both come back again. If we understand this, if we truly accept it in our bones, we might navigate our days with a greater sense of confidence and well-being. When we speak of faith as the way we confront uncertainty, not the way we become certain, we are saying, we don't know where this journey is leading, but we are willing to stay the course, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, to believe that we will reach a currently unknown destination. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. In fact, this phrase is part of a very brief psalm, number 126, that is remarkably well suited to this time and our experience. It begins, a song of ascents. When Adonai brought back those that returned to Zion, we were like unto them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the nations, God has done great things with these. God has done great things with us. We are rejoiced. Turn our captivity, O Adonai, as the streams in the dry land. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. Though we go on our way weeping that bear the measure of seed, we shall come home with joy, bearing our sheaves. So let us breathe. Let us assume our meditative positions, the places we have come to find are comfortable for us. A chair, a couch, the floor, standing. There are times when I like to stand. Again, I invite you to close your eyes or to softly turn your gaze without real focus. Let us sit with attention, but with ease. Our hands resting on the arms of a chair in our laps. Our feet planted on the ground. Let us feel that connection with the ground. A ground that is firm under our feet. We might take inventory. As we breathe in, that first full, deep, wonderful breath. Is it reaching places of tension, of holding on? Can we breathe those out? Sometimes those first few breaths, they make me want to yawn. And that's when I realize I probably haven't breathed very deeply all day. Let us breathe in our presence. We are here. We are right here. We have reached this point, this moment in time, this moment in our lives, this moment in history. It's right now, right here. Let us breathe in that deep restorative breath. And breathe out all of the anxiety we have been carrying. All of the worries. All of the concerns that continue to hover in a world that has difficulties, serious difficulties. But right this minute, let us breathe in safety, a respite, a haven from the outside world. And if we can, perhaps we can just breathe in that sense of presence without judgment, without definition. We don't have to say this is a happy moment, it's a sad moment. Let it just be. Let us be one with our breathing, and leave everything else. Can we release our necks? Can we release our tummies? Can we release our hands that tend to hold on tightly to something we cannot see. Can we breathe all of that out right now? At this moment, we are not high, we are not low. We just are. We know there is a reality out there. We know there is work to be done. We know we are still not safe to interact with our loved ones. But right here, right now, we are content. We can breathe in fully, deeply. And we can let go. We can let go. The world will not let us escape for very long. So let us jealously guard these few moments of setting everything else aside and knowing we just are right now. I invite you to continue to enjoy just the simple act of breathing in and breathing out without judgment, without expectation, without anticipation. Just a safe place. By way of conclusion and a blessing for the week ahead, the words of the poet Rumi remind us that everyone experiences sorrow and everyone experiences joy. The wise poet encourages us to welcome all of our emotions. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes. because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. I wish you a week of equanimity and balance and more positive thoughts than negative, if that is possible, if that is what happens. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. Be strong and of good courage. God bless.